Good morning and welcome to the Riley King Show for Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I'm Riley King. Here's what we're covering today. A grand jury declines to indict a New Hampshire Congresswoman. Portsmouth leaders explore possible solution to the region's child care shortage. And state lawmakers hold off on changes to vehicle inspection rules. We'll also look at a proposal for new guidance on pig scrambles at fairs, an update on the disappearance case of Nancy Guthrie, and Republican push for Save America Act, which would expand voter ID and citizenship requirements. Plus, the FBI hostage rescue team joins the search for Nancy Guthrie as new surveillance video is released, and Savannah Guthrie issues an emotional plea for help. Let's get started. First up, grand jury declines to indict New Hampshire Congresswoman. The U.S. Department of Justice has failed to secure an indictment against Democratic Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander of New Hampshire over her involvement in a political video last fall. A source told the Associated Press that a grand jury declined to indict Goodlander and other lawmakers. Goodlander told WMUR-TV here in New Hampshire that the investigation stemmed from a video in which she and 5 other Democratic military veterans urged active duty service members to resist legal orders. Goodlander said the message was focused on defending the U.S. Constitution and following the law. She called the investigation an abuse of power and said she will continue serving in office. The Justice Department has not commented. Portsmouth leaders explore city role in child care shortages. Portsmouth city councilors are exploring whether the city can help address a growing child care shortage, which they say is also worsening local workforce challenges. City Councilor Annie Hopkins, a mother of a toddler, is calling for a review of what the city can do to support child care providers, including streamlining permits and reducing barriers. Hopkins says child care costs in New Hampshire are far above federal affordability guidelines, forcing many families to consider leaving the workforce. Business leaders say the higher price of care is making it difficult for employers to fill entry-level and service jobs. Hopkins says public input will be critical as the city looks for a solution. Lawmakers hold off on changes to auto inspection rules. Members of the House Transportation Committee met Tuesday but chose not to advance an amendment addressing New Hampshire's vehicle inspection laws. Republican leaders said there is no immediate need for action, citing confidence in the Attorney General's handling of the issue. One proposal would have required emissions-only inspection following a federal court injunction tied to the Clean Air Act. Lawmakers also debated restoring the full inspection program, but some warned it could further confuse residents. Democrats said many constituents want basic safety checks reinstated, while other lawmakers said voters support keeping the repeal. The state's pause on inspection enforcement remains in place through early April. Lawmakers consider new guidelines for pig scrambles at fairs. New Hampshire lawmakers are considering changes to a bill that would restrict so-called pig scramble games, where participants try to catch a pig, often at country and state fairs. Instead of an outright ban, the House Environment and Agriculture Committee is recommending the state development best practice on how the events are run. Some lawmakers raised concerns about animal treatment, including reports of pigs being handled in plastic or poultry bags. Others suggest requiring a veterinarian on site. Animal rights activists say the event should be eliminated entirely, calling them unnecessary and cruel. Arizona detainee ends in Nancy Guthrie disappearance case. Authorities in Arizona say a person briefly detained for questioning in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie has been released. The individual was taken into custody in Rio Rico as investigators continue to search for answers in the case. Officials have not released additional details about the person's identity or whether charges are expected. The investigation into Guthrie's disappearance remains ongoing. Republicans push Save America Act for national voter ID requirements. Republicans are urging the U.S. Senate to take up the Save America Act, a sweeping election integrity proposal that would require voter photo identification nationwide. The bill would also expand citizenship verification requirements for voters, adding new checks aimed at preventing non-citizens from voting. Supporters say the measure would strengthen election security, while critics argue it could create new barriers to voting. The legislation is now facing pressure in the Senate as debate continues over election rules and across. FBI hostage rescue team joins search for missing Nancy Guthrie. A source says the FBI's elite hostage rescue team is now in Tucson, Arizona, as investigators continue searching for missing woman Nancy Guthrie. The specialized unit is known for handling high-risk operations, though officials have not confirmed why the team was deployed or released details about the ongoing investigation. The search remains active, and authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. Savannah Guthrie pleads for help after FBI releases new video. Savannah Guthrie is urging the public to come forward after the FBI released new surveillance footage of a possible person of interest in the disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie. In a statement issued shortly after the video was made public, Guthrie said, "Someone out there recognizes this person. We believe she is still out there. Bring her home." The FBI is asking anyone with information to call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit tips online at tips.fbi.gov. FBI releases new video in Nancy Guthrie disappearance. The FBI released additional surveillance footage tied to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, recovered from the same camera captured earlier video on the morning she went missing. The FBI director says the newly released footage shows an individual approaching Guthrie's front door just before the previously shared video begins. Investigators are asking anyone who recognizes the person or has information in the case is to call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of The Riley King Show. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you all tomorrow. Bye now.